Hello! Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, New Me by Hannah. I'm so excited to have you back with me. So today I want to do another story for you and I'm going to talk about jaw surgery. So if you are looking to have surgery or you're already undergoing the procedure, this is definitely the video for you, so stay right where you are. Now, if you missed my previous video where I was talking about everything leading up to this, the braces I had in preparation for this, then please make sure you check out my previous video. I will pop a link above and I'll also pop it down in the description box below. If you want to have a look at that, it might be helpful for you. Before I get started with this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so you get notifications about videos just like this that you will be absolutely amazed by. And if you do like the video, if you could give it a thumbs up, that would be really helpful. So enjoy the video. So I have put a link below to my previous video where I was talking about braces and the whole procedure, why I went through what I did with my jaw. So if you do want to watch that, it'll be really helpful. If you haven't already seen the video, do, because it might give you more information. But I will just give you a quick recap about why I went through the whole procedure that I did to fix my face, and hopefully it'll inspire you or answer some questions you might have if you are looking to go through it yourself. So just to recap, the reason that I went through this whole process, I basically didn't like how I looked. I felt quite deformed at the time. I also couldn't breathe through one side of my nose. I think one side of my face developed quicker than the other side, so it made for a not nice look, and it caused me some problems. I went to my regular dentist. They said, yeah, it's something that we can help you with. Sent me on to an orthodontist, and to basically get the surgery, which was the final outcome, I had to get braces first. So the braces basically made my teeth worse. They lined them up, but they made them worse so that when I had the surgery, they'd all fit back into place. It's complicated, but it worked, so I'm really happy. So I had my braces on for about 18 months to 2 years before I actually had the operation. I then had braces for 6 months after the operation just to keep everything in the right place and just help everything to heal. So it was quite a long time, but I'm hoping that you agree it was completely worth it. In the lead up to actually getting the braces put on, I had so many consultations with surgeons, orthodontists, trying to figure out the best plan of action for the problem that I had at the time. And there was so much to think about. I came out of some appointments going, oh my god, I really don't want this. This is awful. It's going to be hideous. It sounds the most painful thing in the world. Why would I put myself through that? And then there was other times when I'd come out like, yeah, let's just get on with it, you know. For me, the worst part of this whole procedure was actually the build up to getting the braces on, because I felt that when the braces on, that was it. I'm going through no matter what, you know, they're changing my teeth so that they're actually going to be worse. I have to go through it. But yeah, the build up, the months of actually waiting for the braces to come on, I was questioning myself all the time. I was like, am I doing the right thing? Is this really needed? And I just had to keep reminding myself that things were getting worse, and unless I did something drastic, you know, I wasn't going to feel good about myself. So I went with it and I did it, and yeah, I'm really happy that I did. The surgery itself, I had quite a few. I actually had 2 surgery dates that got cancelled literally the day before the surgery, so you can imagine everything was ready, and then they called up and said, no, sorry, we're not doing it. So yeah, I was actually really relieved when my real surgery didn't get cancelled. Part of me was like, oh my god, I was hoping they'd cancel it so I wouldn't have to do it. But then the other part of me was like, let's just do it, get over it. It's the night before surgery, so I just wanted to show you all how I look now, so that next time you see me I'll be a bit different. I had braces for about over 2 years now. I was on the waiting list for nearly a year before that, and I made my decision a couple of months before that. So this has been ongoing for, I'd say, almost 4 years. So although it's nerve-wracking, I'm actually really happy to go through this final step. And although it's scary, I'm ready for this operation. So the reason for the operation is my jaws. I'm having lower jaw surgery with chin. It's called a genioplasty. So I'll show you my teeth. You can see they don't go together. That's a little, that's a little. So unfortunately, they just don't match. And it sends my chin off to the right, which isn't good. So the surgery, they're gonna move it. They're gonna twist it around slightly so it matches this arm. They're gonna push it back, and hopefully then I'll look normal. So yeah, sorry I'm not wearing any makeup or hair done, because I'm literally just packing my bag. We've got a feast as my last supper, because I probably won't be eating for 2-3, hopefully, weeks. So yeah, I'm eating for England tonight. The day of the surgery, it was like any other surgery. You obviously go in, they prep you, gown you, you speak to the surgeon, you speak to the anesthesiologist, you go through any questions with them, which was really helpful. And then, yeah, when they're ready to take you through, you literally just get a needle in, and then they make you feel like you're drunk, and then you pass out, and then when you wake up, everything is weird. So obviously I don't know what happened in the surgery. For me, they broke my jaw in 2 places, so about here and here. I also, because they were pulling my jaw back, I also had, it's called a genioplasty, so they cut my chin as well, so they could bring my chin back forward. It's just so that the side profile, it would have been weird if they didn't fix my chin as well, so they brought the chin forward too. So I ended up with 4 breaks, here and here, and here and here. So what they do, they obviously break your bones. I don't want to know how they did it. I didn't ask any questions in relation to that. It's something people might want to know everything that happens, but I wanted ignorance is bliss on some things, and to me, I just went in there rather not knowing. So I didn't ask that question. Don't know how they did it. I'm sure I'll find out at some point. I'm sure it was a hammer or medieval torturing tool or something like that. But anyway, so they broke it, and then they, as far as I know, they realigned it, put it in a better place, and then they put titanium plates in. I thought they were going to be huge. I thought they were going to be like covering my face, but in actual fact, they're like teeny. They're tiny. You don't even see them. Well, you do see them. You can see them, but they're tiny. So that's all they do, and then they stitch you up and then push you back out again. That's it. So when you wake up, in my experience, I woke up completely bandaged. I'm sure they're supposed to put ice packs just to slow the swelling, but in my case they obviously didn't have any ice packs, so they shoved some surgical gloves with, I can only presume, cold water, which was a bit weird, but it did the trick. So yeah, I woke up completely high on, I think it was morphine that they gave me, so I was talking a whole load of rubbish, I think I was asking for pizza, which is more than likely. And yeah, so I wasn't aware of the pain. I was in no pain. I remember saying that I was going to work the next day, and then yeah, so there was no pain. When you wake up, well, I didn't have any pain when I woke up. I was high as a kite, so that was fine. It was only really later on that night I started to get a lot of pain around here. So I presume, obviously, to get in, they have to press on you quite hard. So I did have quite a lot of pain and trouble breathing. So they kept me in for an extra night just because of that. But normally, I'm sure that's not the case. I was in hospital for 2 nights. Unfortunately, the day in the middle was my birthday, so that wasn't a very nice birthday. I couldn't tell anybody it was my birthday. I couldn't speak. I was like, it's miserable. I'll have to deal with it, and then I'll celebrate next year. It's fine. Obviously, when you've had jaw surgery, you literally can't move. You can't talk. You can mumble without moving your jaw, but it's hard. You also can't eat. So the first couple of days specifically, I was only literally drinking through a straw. But I was kind of in a lot of pain at that time and still high as a kite. They kept giving me pain meds, which I wasn't complaining about. So yeah, I wasn't really hungry. I wasn't really thinking about food at that time. So it was okay. When I got home though, obviously I'm not on as much pain medication at home, so I started to get hungry, and because I was doing nothing, all I was thinking about was food. It was making me really miserable, and all I could eat was literally cold soup through a straw, milkshakes. I had like protein shakes. It was just quite miserable. Plus, you're sitting there with your face like a balloon. You've got bruising around your neck, and it wasn't a nice experience. But you have to just think, in the grand scheme of things, it is what, a week, 2 weeks in that condition before you start to heal yourself. I did try some mashed potato. It was too quick. I shouldn't have tried it when I did, because it did cause a lot of pain. The other problem I had was that the titanium plate that they put here, it actually started to pierce back through the skin inside my mouth. So I had to actually have a second surgery fairly soon after, to correct that. They actually took the whole plate out because the bone had healed at the time. That isn't a normal thing, so don't even consider that will happen. I'm just telling you story time that, in my case, things went wrong, and yeah, so I had to have 2 surgeries. The second one was obviously very minor, it was just to take it out. They told me they could do it while I was awake, but there was no way in hell I was going to be awake for that. So I requested to be put to sleep, which was a good idea. I just check in. It's been a week now since my jaw surgery, and I'm in a lot of pain, to say the least. So I can't really talk very well. I still have bands here, and my chin is very, very sore here today. I think it's actually swollen up again. Feels like I've got hamster cheeks, which aren't very nice. So, I've spent about a week asleep, which my body obviously needed. I haven't been able to eat anything yet. It's literally just been soup and smoothies. I did try some porridge. That's about as good as it's got. But yeah, it's been horrible. Am I happy with the result? Yeah, I mean, my teeth, they're straight now, my nose is straightened. I have a bit more swelling this side, which is why I'm not quite symmetrical, but all in all, I'm actually very pleased with the results so far. Still can't feel my lip at all, can't feel this. I can feel from about here. I can feel the top, the colour of my gums has started to come back, which is nice, although a bit weird because they're still a bit white here. But that will come back. So yeah, I can't really talk, so I'm struggling to make this video, but I thought it was important to show you all the not so sophisticated side of surgery. It's just not going as easily as I expected. I mean, I knew it would be hard, but I didn't realise at all. The recovery did take a little bit longer than I expected. I thought I'd be off work for 2 weeks. I was actually off work for a month, possibly because of the second surgery. It just didn't heal as quick. And I felt in myself that I just needed that extra time to be able to recover and get myself back to working order. When you come out of surgery, initially you just come out as you are. Obviously, if you need braces before, they will just leave the braces on. They don't come off. After, I think it was the next day, so the morning after surgery, they then put bands around your braces to kind of clench your jaw shut. It just so that it heals in the right place, and it just serves to kind of, it reminds you that there's a problem, and kind of just a reminder not to open your mouth and stretch it, because obviously you don't want to have amazing surgery, which I don't even understand how they do it. So you don't want that, and then to go and mess it all up by opening your jaw too wide. So I do think it was clever. It wasn't a nice experience, and yeah, it was irritating, but it is what it is. If you're going to go through jaw surgery, you may as well do it well so you don't have to do it again. After my operation, they actually left the braces on for another 6 months. That was to help the bands, to keep things in place, make sure that the teeth weren't shifting back to their original place. I also still wear a retainer. I've got it down to 2 times a week now. I'm sure I should wear it more often. But again, I don't want to ruin what I've created with my face. So yeah, I still wear the retainer to make sure everything stays still. Hi, so this is it. I'm off to get my braces off. So I will see you on the other side. Yay! The jaw procedure, surgery, braces, everything took probably about 3 or 4 years for me, from start, the initial consultation, right through to getting the braces off. And obviously it's still ongoing with me wearing the retainer at night. So I've been asked many times, if I knew right at the beginning, would I still have gone through what I went through? Because obviously I'm an adult, and it is crazy to be in braces at this age and then have to go through the whole trauma of the operation. And yeah, was it really worth it? I have to say, I don't have any regrets. I'm irritated that the braces took so long. I'm irritated that a couple of surgeries got cancelled. However, the bigger picture of things for me, I am so much more confident now than I ever was. My teeth, they're about a millimetre off being perfect, and to me, I couldn't ask for any more. I can breathe through my nose a lot better now, so that's cleared the main problem up for me. and I'm just generally happier. So I don't have any regrets. I am very, very happy with the decision I made to have the surgery. And if you are in the process of considering options, or you've even started the process, or maybe you're literally just curious about what happens, then I'd say you really need to do your research. Make sure you watch a lot more videos like this to kind of gauge if it's for you or not. If you're not in it for the long haul, don't bother, because it is a long process. I am very, very happy with the results, and I hope that if you're watching this, it might persuade you that it's a good thing. If you've got the opportunity to do it, the want to do it, and the time, then absolutely just go for it. I have a few tips for you if you are looking to go ahead with this procedure, or you're curious about, going forwards. So here's my top tips. Tip number 1, absolutely just be sure 120,000,000% that you want the surgery. Make sure you think about nothing but the surgery, that it is critical for your face. Make sure that you literally, it's all you want. Just make sure that there is not a single part of you that doesn't think it's a good idea, because it's such a hard, traumatic experience that you have to be invested in it 100%. And once you've started the procedure and the process to getting towards surgery, it's very difficult to back out. So just make sure you're 100% in it and you're ready to go. Tip number 2, make sure you have the time. So this is, especially if you're having the braces before, make sure you factor in the amount of time it's going to take for consultations leading up to the braces. Make sure you're factoring in time for the braces. The surgery itself is very quick. It's like 4-hour surgery, I think. And then make sure you factor in the recovery time and potentially braces afterwards as well. So in general, if you're having braces like me, you're probably looking at a good 3 to 4 years. So make sure you are fully aware of that. You are prepared to go the distance, and just make sure that that's not going to stop you. Tip number 3, just make sure about other commitments. So if you are working and you're considering getting jaw surgery, just make sure that your management team are aware of the surgery and potentially the amount of time off that you might need. So as I said, I did originally take 2 weeks off, and then I had to extend it another 2. So just make sure that you're in a position where if you need to take up to a month off because of the surgery, then it's an option for you. Tip number 4, food. Biggest thing for me ever. So one of the concerns I had going into this was what I was going to eat after the surgery. I was secretly hoping to lose a bit of weight. Don't think that. Because you're eating so little, your body, and you're actually not doing anything, that's not how it works. So, yeah. Big mistake. When you go for your surgery, you need to make sure you have milkshakes. Jelly was kind of through a thick straw, maybe. You have to remember that your jaw will literally be closed. So you can only really get a straw in, not a spoon or anything. Make sure that you're getting all of your nutrients and everything. So I had a protein shake, which I relied on quite heavily through that time. I also had a lot of fresh veg that was blended into a thick soup, which I had to have cold as well. Just make sure you're not neglecting your diet and that you're keeping everything as good and healthy as it can be. Especially with the recovery, you need to feel good inside. So don't be putting loads of rubbish in at that time. It doesn't work. Tip number 5, definitely a big one. You have to keep your mouth clean. It's just not an option, because all the bacteria in your mouth, it can cost like weeks and weeks onto your recovery. So just make sure you're using the daily mouthwash. Daily, it was like twice, 3 times a day mouthwash. And just make sure that you're keeping your mouth as clean as physically possible. That first time of brushing teeth after the operation is horrific, but just know that you're doing your body good by keeping it nice and clean. Tip number 6, if you are going through surgery in the near future, or a long way from now, just make sure that you're fully prepared. So make sure you've got somebody with you that can look after you. Make sure you've got all your food already in the house before you go into surgery, so you don't need to consider going outside, having to shop or anything like that. The other thing I would suggest is that the main problem for me after surgery was my lips. Obviously they have to stretch your mouth, horrifically so, and when you wake up, I think my lips shredded like 2 or 3 layers before they started to heal. It was just horrific. So make sure you, in the weeks at least leading up to surgery, make sure you keep your lips really moisturized, so that they don't crack as bad. And then after surgery, definitely keep moisturizing your lips to get them to heal, because I think that was one of the biggest problems for me. So there's my story. That's what happened to me. That's hopefully not as bad as you thought it was going to be, or if it is, at least I've given you a few home truths before you're considering surgery. Don't forget to watch my previous video with regards to the braces. And if you do have any questions, or you need any more tips or anything leading up to surgery, just pop a comment in the box below and I'll try and get back to you. I've really enjoyed sharing this experience with you. I hope it has been of benefit, and I really look forward to seeing you for my next video.